What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Nerdy Mark channel. I'm Sid the Nerdy Mark, and today I have your review of Raw and SmackDown for this week. Now, before we get into today's review of Raw and SmackDown, I do want to make a couple of announcements. First things first, the Black Panther full-fledged analysis and breakdown probably will happen sometime next week, because I'm actually going out of town this week, so yeah. Also, I have a new series that I'm going to be debuting very, very soon, so be on the lookout for that. And number 3, the beanie's back because I just showered and I didn't have time to brush my hair, so it's really messy. With that in mind, let's get on with this video, starting with our review of Monday Night Raw. Alright, so Raw began with Alexa Bliss and her best friend again, Mickie James, coming out. They had a recap of like literally everything that happened in the women's division. Before that, they had the entire women's chamber match recap. They had the recap of Asuka versus Nia, and then Alexa Bliss comes out to gloat. She kind of puts down all the other female superstars, particularly Asuka, because she's the person that she's going to be facing at WrestleMania. But of course, she gives thanks to Mickie James, which is kind of interesting because Mickie James and Alexa Bliss were kind of hating each other for a while, and then now they're friends again. I mean, like, it's like, in comic books when, a certain character dies and then he or she comes back because comics, just like that, because WWE. That happens, and then out comes Asuka, and she comes out to confront Alexa Bliss and Mickie James. Nia Jax comes out, and then Mickie, Alexa, and Nia all beat up on Asuka, and then this brings out Sasha Banks and Bayley to even out the odds a little bit. They're not really friends with Asuka. They just don't like Alexa Bliss, I guess. Of course, they totally forget about Absolution. That's fantastic. So that kind of leads us to our first match of the evening, which is, you guessed it, a 6-woman tag match. Now, there's nothing really much to say about this match other than it was another match. It was all right. It was okay. But one spot I did like was when Sasha Banks was going for the tag. She was about to tag Bayley. Bayley just goes, nope, and she like jumps off the apron, leaving Sasha Banks defenseless, kind of really continuing that their bout from Elimination Chamber. But anyway, so kind of continuing that tension. Hopefully this leads to Bayley versus Sasha at WrestleMania with a heel Sasha Banks. Asuka does get Mickie James in a submission. Mickie taps. The faces win. And Sasha Banks has that WTF look on her face. Bayley is happy that Asuka got the pin for the faces. Up next, we got a promo by John Cena, who fell short at both the Royal Rumble and the Elimination Chamber. He says, I failed. I felt really bad. I was sad for about 5 minutes, and then I decided I figured it out. He calls out The Undertaker. I was like, oh, okay, finally. We're gonna get Cena versus Undertaker at WrestleMania. He bigs it up. He bigs up this match, this potential dream match with the dead man, and he says, this is 39 WrestleManias between both of us. We've never had a match, but unfortunately, it's not going to be possible. So I will be on SmackDown Live. I'll find out a way to get a spot at WrestleMania. I did enjoy this promo. Again, John Cena proves why he is fantastic on the mic. He's a great talker on the mic, and he's been here for a long time. The man can talk and the man can wrestle. It was a good segment. It was very impassioned. I really felt for John Cena on this. I was like, man, yeah, I mean, I hope you find a way to WrestleMania, dude. That sucks. We then have Heath Slater and Rhino come into the ring. Long time no see. But they're jumped by Bray Wyatt. He delivers Sister Abigail's to both of them, and then he basically gets on the mic and he says, Matt Hardy, this is your fault. Because of you, I injured these poor souls, so you must face me again. Which basically means we're getting Bray Wyatt and Matt Hardy again at WrestleMania. Yay. The thing is, Jeremy Borash was now hired by Triple H, so we'll see. Maybe there's a way to salvage this. If they should wrestle at the Hardy compound. That's all I need to see from Matt Hardy and Bray Wyatt, is them at the Hardy compound and fighting it out there. Decent segment, good promo by Bray Wyatt, good promo work. Then out comes The Miz. The Miz comes out and he is kind of disappointed that he's not going to go to WrestleMania to face Brock Lesnar. for the Universal title because he wants to be the first ever Universal and Intercontinental Champion. So he's wondering who is going to be his opponent at WrestleMania. Out comes Seth Rollins. They have a really, really solid match, which ultimately Seth Rollins wins. And then Seth Rollins is celebrating. He's interrupted by Finn Balor. Balor comes out. Seth Rollins is visually showing his displeasure for all this, so he's walking out to the back. In the meantime, Finn Balor is in the ring doing his, stuff, doing his, too sweet and everything. But then he's attacked by the Miztourage, which of course they attack him, and then of course out come Gallows and Anderson to even out the odds. The Miztourage and the Good Brothers are both barred from ringside. A very tired Miz fights a kind of injured Finn Balor, and this was also not a bad match, very competitive, despite the fact that Miz fought a grueling match against Seth Rollins, gave his all. It was a really good match. I really enjoyed everything about it. Finn Balor does win. Seth Rollins cuts a promo, and basically he says, yeah, my next goal, I won the Intercontinental Championship. We then get Roman Reigns coming out into the ring, and he's going to address Brock Lesnar. It was advertised all throughout Monday Night Raw that Brock Lesnar would be face-to-face with Roman Reigns. So Roman gets on the mic. He, of course, calls out Brock Lesnar, and he says Brock is not here today. And he basically says Brock Lesnar does not care about the WWE. All he cares about is his paycheck. While me and 6 other people were busting our asses in the Elimination Chamber, he was out there taking pictures with Dana White. So, with the whole implications that after WrestleMania, Brock is leaving to go back to the UFC again. So this is kind of bringing that into the fold and bringing that into the picture. So that was pretty cool. Roman Reigns, that's what he says. He says, I care about this company. Unlike Brock Lesnar, I actually can't say these things, but I'm going to say it. But, we all know he can actually say it because, first of all, he's Roman Reigns. Second of all, he must have been told to say this anyway. Regardless of whether this is a shoot or a work, for those who don't know, a shoot is someone who's talking without a script, and a work is someone who talks with a script. So, little quick pro wrestling 101 for my non-wrestling fans. So, Roman Reigns does do this work shoot promo, kind of blurring the lines between fantasy and reality. He does say a lot of things that people in the WWE universe agree with. This was probably one of the best, if not the best promo that Roman Reigns has ever cut. Personally, I don't hate Roman Reigns, but I always thought his mic skills were lacking, but this shows that he has potential. Up next, we have a rematch from the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view. We have Sheamus and Cesaro versus Apollo and Titus O'Neil in a 2 out of 3 falls match for the Raw Tag Team Championships. And keeping it short and sweet, the Bar win. Okay, they get their 2 falls very easily, but their post-match promo did leave a little bit of intrigue. There was a degree of truth to this too. They basically said, there's no other team out there on Monday Night Raw. We've beaten everybody, so we're probably going to be punished because we're so dominant. On a side note, on Twitter, the Authors of Pain actually commented and he said, are you sure? So that got me really excited. I really do hope Authors of Pain, after TakeOver New Orleans, they show up at WrestleMania and challenge Sheamus and Cesaro for the Raw Tag Team titles. We'll see. Again, the fate of the tag titles is still kind of up in the air at the moment, and we'll just have to wait until Mania to see what happens. We then get Braun Strowman versus Elias. This was a fun match. I love Braun Strowman. I just love watching him beat people around. And then the match ends in a disqualification when Elias takes a fire extinguisher and sprays Braun Strowman's eyes, kind of temporarily blinding him. But of course, Braun Strowman chases Elias all the way to the back. He gets pissed that he runs away. And then there's a limo that comes right next to Braun. And he kind of rests on it for a little bit and then he leaves. And then the camera zooms onto the limo, and that's the end of the segment. I don't know who was in that limo, but it would have been nice to get some clarification on that. Nothing too much to say about this segment / match. Decent match by both of them. I do think Braun is going to be feuding with Elias at WrestleMania, which is okay. I would rather him also be inserted in the Universal title picture. Time for the main event. We have Ronda Rousey, Kurt Angle, Stephanie, and Triple H come out to kind of address what happened at Elimination Chamber. They, of course, play like a recap of what happened with, of course, Ronda Rousey taking Triple H into Suplex City. Everyone's out there. Ronda Rousey is much better on the mic this time. You know, Ronda Rousey's looking all angry at Stephanie and Triple H. Then we have Kurt Angle come out and he says, listen, I need this job. He tells Ronda Rousey, he's like, look, Ronda, I need this job. And yeah, I actually lied to you, okay? I was sick. I had the flu. And, you know, I just wasn't feeling good. I was delirious. And I spoke out of turn, and I'm sorry and whatnot. Triple H and Stephanie seem to accept his apology. Ronda says, if you want this to be all swept away and cast aside, I want you to apologize to me for slapping me. You know, she tells Stephanie, if you don't apologize, I will not hesitate to tear your arm out of its socket, which is basically what she did at WrestleMania 31. Stephanie McMahon looks like she's gonna slap her again, basically. She's like going up there to confront her, and then she just says, I am sorry for doing that. And it looks like everything is done. You know, everything, it's water under the bridge. Kurt Angle, you know, he is a sigh of relief, and then Triple H just decks him in the face, and that's how the show ends. I like this segment. I thought it was really good. It's definitely setting up for Ronda Rousey and Kurt Angle, I guess, versus Stephanie McMahon and Triple H. That's going to be interesting, and Ronda definitely has improved on her mic skills in one day. So good job, Ronda. I'm excited to see where this goes. I'll be honest with you, I really didn't care much about Ronda Rousey joining WWE, but now there's actually some intrigue to this whole angle. So WWE, don't screw it up. Moving on to SmackDown Live. SmackDown does begin with John Cena. He comes out and he says, I'm looking for a way to get into WrestleMania. And the only way I can do that is if I basically am in the WWE title picture, because the only person who has a guaranteed spot at Mania is Shinsuke Nakamura, the person who's going to challenge for the title. This brings out Shane McMahon and Daniel Bryan in succession. And they basically say, if you can beat AJ Styles in the main event tonight, you will be entered into the Fatal 5-Way, which is already crowded enough as it is, and we will turn that into a 6-pack challenge. Good segment, nothing much to say about it. John Cena again, good on the mic. Up next, we have Baron Corbin versus Sami Zayn. Now, why am I holding a bowl of popcorn in my hands? I'll talk about that in just a sec. So, the match is going on, and Kevin Owens is on commentary. I was enjoying this match. And then they cut backstage to Daniel Bryan and Shane McMahon watching the match. And Shane McMahon has a bowl of popcorn with him. And he's eating it. And we have to cut back and forth between the match and Shane McMahon eating popcorn. How much sense does that make? Seriously. About as much sense as it makes for me holding this bowl of popcorn in this shot. So I'm just going to put this down. That aside, the match is good. Competitive match between both guys. And then the match does end when Dolph Ziggler jumps the barricade and super kicks Kevin Owens while he's doing commentary, which distracts Sami Zayn. And Baron Corbin takes advantage and hits the End of Days onto Sami. 1, 2, 3. Baron Corbin wins. After the match, Dolph Ziggler comes out and hits Corbin with the zigzag. And that's how this match ends. Next up, we have Ruby Riott versus Naomi. And this was a pretty throwaway match. That's the problem with the women's division in both Raw and SmackDown. They're both just throwaway segments. You know, at least Raw, it has the whole intrigue between Sasha Banks and Bayley. But in SmackDown, there's nothing. You know, SmackDown has nothing going for it except, you know, the Riott Squad and then the top baby faces fighting each other every week. So let's think of something new, WWE. Ruby Riott does win. And she does beat Naomi clean. And she also says 2 down, 1 to go. Just like Charlotte has beaten both Liv Morgan and Sarah Logan. Now Ruby Riott has beaten Naomi and Becky Lynch. But yeah, throwaway match. We then have Breezango, aka the Fashion Police, backstage. And then we have the star of Unsolved, which is the mystery drama about the murders of Tupac and Biggie. And we have the star, Josh Duhamel, come out and talk to Tyler Breeze and Fandango. And he talks about how the show is about Tupac and Biggie. Josh Duhamel does. This brings out the New Day because they're talking about Big E and they have Big E. Wow, hilarious. I hated this segment a lot. They've really buried the fashion police. So good job, WWE. You've done a great job of making me take something that I used to really care about and make me just roll my eyes every time I see it again. So 2 thumbs up. Then after that, we have the New Day come out with their text popping up on the screen, which was really annoying, as it is always. And they come out, they talk about how they're going to face the Usos at Fastlane, which prompts the Usos to come out, and they both cut an amazing promo together. The Usos and New Day, they work magic in the ring. These are 2 amazingly talented teams, both on the mic and in the ring. This was a good promo. Basically, both of them just talking about, oh yeah, this is day 1-ish, and we got the tag team division on lock. And then New Day with their hips swinging and saying that they're going to be the 5-time WWE Tag Team Champions. And that was a good segment. It was interrupted by the best thing about SmackDown Live, and that is the Bludgeon Brothers. They come out, these 2 powder away. It's awesome. They actually, and they bring their hammers, they bring their mallets into the ring. That was even better. So yes, Bludgeon Brothers are literally the best thing about SmackDown Live right now. Happy Rusev Day, everyone. Yes, Rusev is back on SmackDown Live television. And how do we celebrate this? They don't give him a match. They instead give Aiden English a match. Hooray! Aiden English does have a match with Shinsuke Nakamura, the winner of the 2018 Royal Rumble. It is a good match. I did like it. I did enjoy it. It was fun to see. Excuse me. Rusev does get involved. They're still booking them as heels, even though they're like the most over thing about SmackDown right now. So Rusev does get involved, but ultimately Shinsuke does hit the Kinshasa on Aiden English. 1, 2, 3. Shinsuke Nakamura wins. I think that Fastlane is going to be Nakamura versus Rusev, which I'm okay with, I guess. Then this kind of segues into our main event, which is AJ Styles versus John Cena. So he's coming out. Nakamura and Cena do cross paths, and they both point at the WrestleMania sign. Oh, wait. But before that, we did have a segment between Bobby Roode and Randy Orton, and they talk about the list of SmackDown Live. This is getting ridiculous. One good thing is no Jinder Mahal, so yay. Randy Orton does say, no, it's not about that list. It's because I've never been United States champ before, so I want to be the U.S. champion. That's the segment. Alright, so it is time for the main event. AJ Styles versus John Cena. Very good match. These 2 know each other in the ring by now, so a lot of the psychology was fantastic. At one point, Cena even considers taking a countout victory because, to show his desperation for wanting to main event WrestleMania so bad. Well, not main event, but go to WrestleMania so bad. And of course, it's also shows that Kevin and Sami are watching the match, Baron Corbin's watching the match, and Dolph Ziggler is watching the match. So AJ Styles does have Cena in the calf crusher. Cena is like in pain, writhing in pain. He's about to tap. He turns around and he looks at the WrestleMania sign, and that almost gives him freakish strength. Then he converts the calf crusher into an AA, hits it on AJ. 1, 2, 3. Cena wins, and now the Fatal 5-Way is officially a 6-pack challenge. Couldn't get more crowded, can it? You just have everybody and their mom in this match because that's kind of how they're doing it. But anyway, so after the match, Kevin and Sami come out. They're about to confront John Cena. From the back, Baron Corbin attacks Cena. So all 3 heels do attack Cena and AJ. Out comes Dolph Ziggler to even the odds out. He, basically does a super kick to everybody. So it's like a super kick party. Dolph Ziggler, John Cena, and AJ Styles are all in the ring. They're like, yeah, we're the faces, yay. But then Dolph Ziggler attacks AJ Styles. So Dolph Ziggler is still kind of in that tweener phase, so kind of between a heel and a face. And then he tries to attack Cena. Cena hits Dolph with the AA, and that's how the show ends. So, what did I think? Raw Decent show, as not a bad show, but wish they did more with their women's division. Uh, wish they would make Woken Matt Hardy and Bray Wyatt a little bit more interesting. As far as SmackDown, the United States title picture, I really don't care about what's going on because they're literally feuding over a list. And the women's division, again, on SmackDown, is garbage. I enjoyed all the promos on Raw, and I enjoyed all the matches on SmackDown. Both shows were okay. So that was my review of Raw and SmackDown for this week. Let me know what you guys thought about both shows in the comment section below. Also, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Follow me on social media. Tell your friends about the Nerdy Mark. And yes, thank you. So until next time, this is Sid the Nerdy Mark, signing off.